This hopefully won't be a long video. I'm trying to finish up this 58 Vibrolux, and the speaker hardware wasn't tight. There was one loose connection on the baffle. There were some dirty contacts on the preamp tube socket, and there was some noise if I used the guitar volume, which is gone now. One of these three 68K input resistors were bad. The remaining issue is a scratchiness on certain notes when you play this E flat. And if I manipulate the board in this area, I can make it happen and make it go away. So it's either a solder joint in here or a connection. And there is a wire which goes from this capacitor over to here beneath the board. And it can be a little bit tricky when an under the board wire starts acting up. If that were the case, it would act up when I tapped all in this area where that wire runs. It's all right in here where that connection is made, so let me see what I can do to hopefully make that go away. Okay, I think I got it. When in doubt, reflow. So I reflowed the solder joint at the end of here and in this ground connection here at this cathode. And I resoldered down at the other end where that wire goes. And it seems to be fixed now. There's a mechanical buzz that may go away when the rear panel's put on. If I really exacerbate it, I move this wire here going to the volume pot. There's a little bit of gronk there, but it's not happening in normal playing. I have to really push it with the pointer stick. You hear that? Totally separate issue. That's the speaker. It's tricky in this situation because if I unplug this speaker and plug in my cab over there 6 feet away and the problem goes away, it's easy to think, yeah, it's a speaker. But it can also be something in the amp that the physical closeness of the speaker to everything, making it vibrate, can cause the issue. You know, it's an interrelated system, and you change one thing and you think that was it, but it was really something else reacting to one thing. And it's my fault for saying this was going to be a quick video. Well, frustratingly, I think I fixed it, but I'm not quite sure how. I was suspicious of the speaker. And my thought was, first of all, let me pull the speaker out and look for any obvious problems with the cone, check where the spider is and the suspension, and push on the cone, listen for voice coil rub. I did that. I didn't hear anything. I didn't see anything. I didn't think it was necessary to film it. But there were a lot of spider webs on the speaker, on the cone and dust cap. I mean, a lot of spider webs. And I gently brushed all those out and I put it back together. And my thought was next I would hook up that 75 Princeton to this speaker just to see if the speaker has the problems. But now the problem seems to be gone. So I don't know whether it just wasn't sitting tight against the baffle before, or if it was the spider webs. Maybe it's an arachnophobe, but the problem seems to be gone. So the remaining issues this amp had all seem to be fixed. There was something in here that was vibrating on certain frequencies, related probably to the wire that goes from here to the next bit of the phase inverter. And so, yeah, I reflowed all that stuff, and I reflowed the stuff in here where there was some noise when I really tapped on it or pressed on it hard. And I've confirmed there's no voltage in the board, and I changed out those 3 grid stoppers at the beginning, the mix resistors, whatever you want to call them at the input. because there was some scratchiness on the volume pot on the guitar, which is not nice when you're using it. Cleaned the tube sockets, got rid of a bunch of spider webs, put the speaker back together, and all seems to be really nice. So, I think this one's done. And a real quick appendix to the video. This is that 75 Princeton. And both the old tank and the old plastic reverb cables died. The reverb cables won't be missed. You can see I put in some nice braided metal ones like on the 60s amps. And they're all running down and secured into a Mojo Tone medium decay tank for Fender specs. The traditional Fenders from the 60s, the AB763s, used Gibbs, then Accutronics tanks, and they were a long decay spec. But for whatever reason, with the current production tanks, their long decay is much, much longer than the old Gibbs and Accutronics. And not just longer, but darker. And the current production from MOD, or my preference, Mojo Tone, medium decay tanks is much closer to the decay and the tonality of the old Gibbs and Accutronics long decay. So that's nice. This one's ready to go home too.